This is Nerd Hat.
This is Nerd Hat.
This is Nerd Hat.
Nerds!
Nerds. And the sort of the takus.
We are here in my car, sitting outside the theater. No, not that sort of theater. Theater. No, I don't know how to say it.
You're all over the spectrum right now.
Yes. We were trying to hype ourselves up right before this, because we're like, we want this to be damn entertaining, and like, come on, we need to have fun with this shit. We don't have time to become experts on every movie we watch. We just don't have the time. Like, we're between parenting and work and just all that stuff. You know, we'd love to have the time to become experts, like the Wizard and the Bruiser level experts. You know what I mean? Like, Wizard and the Bruiser podcast, by the way, if you love nerdy shit, check them out. Shout out to them. They do an excellent job. And those guys, I think it's their full-time job. They dive in hardcore to every topic they research. Those guys know their stuff. So with us, hopefully, you just get some fun. And a little bit of knowledge.
Fireball.
A little bit of knowledge, depending on the topic, right? You know, you've got some deep knowledge on some stuff. So do I, you know, on certain topics, entertainment-wise. Anyway.
I drink milk and I know stuff.
We're not here to go deep at the moment. We're just giving our instant review, our immediate thoughts out of the theater for Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga.
No philosophy for you. We're keeping this shallow.
Yeah, and we're going to try to keep it spoiler-free. Yeah, as much as possible. This isn't the type of movie that's going to have like a huge twist necessarily. You know, it's not Shyamalan in the late 90s level twist or anything like that. But that being said, we'll try not to spoil it for you in this initial instant review. So, if you saw our little blurb on Instagram, you heard what we both rated it. But for the sake of those that haven't seen that, Will, what did you say you give this right out of the gate? How many nerd hats?
Well, I wanted to give it a 4, but I changed it to a 3.7 just to be weird like that.
He be weird like that. So 3.7 for Will, and I gave it a 4 right out of the gate. I think the more I reflect on it, it might get higher, but I'm giving it a solid 4 nerd hats out of 5 right out of the gate. So Will, do you want to go first? Like, what did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? Was it meaningful? Was it hilarious? Was it disturbing? Like, what are your initial feelings?
Well, I was glad that Chris Hemsworth played a completely different character this time around than what I'm used to seeing, because he is known for being a comedian, and there were times where his comedian side was coming out, and it was like fourth wall breaking for this film in a little bit, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah?
Well, it's just, I'm getting off on a tangent here. He did a really great job. I just mean that I didn't want to come to this movie seeing Thor or funny Thor.
I think we did see a little bit of evil Thor. Like, if Thor from Thor Ragnarok went evil, I think he'd be a lot like Dementis, Hemsworth character. What do you think?
Yeah, I guess so. But, I mean, this was not exaggerated comedy. It was just a little bit of humor cropped up here and there. But I thought he did a really good job.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, George Miller's movies are quirky anyway. And Hemsworth definitely brought that quirky, jerky, like, the camera work does some of that, obviously. You know, and that's George Miller's style, at least with his Mad Max movies. Fury Road, definitely, you know, those jump cuts and things like that, and just like, I don't know how they do that exactly, like jump pans almost within the camera. Like, it's just a very interesting style. But Hemsworth brought some similar energy to his character's physicality.
He definitely did. And for some reason during watching this movie, I finally understood the appeal of being in a biker gang.
Oh, yeah.
This is like if biker gangs ruled the world.
Well, yeah, like, I don't know how much you know. I'm certainly not an expert on it, but I don't know how much you know about the Mad Max Saga. But
This is my first Mad Max movie.
you probably picked up. Did you pick up on the fact that this is post-apocalyptic world? Like, there's been.
Oh, I knew that.
Okay.
I mean
that much.
I mean, Mad Max is pretty big in our pop culture. I mean, it's not huge, but it's big.
Big enough.
And I knew that because of the pop culture. And besides, while you were getting your drink, the opening scene of the film kind of explained this was post-apocalyptic. There was some history and some atomic bomb going off or something.
Oh yeah, I didn't catch that part.
Yeah.
Because I was out doing something, so I missed the very beginning. So there was an atomic bomb that went off at the beginning.
Yeah, like some black and white trees, like some old history footage or something being swept away by a bomb.
Ah, nice. And what was the title of the first segment? Do you happen to remember? That each segment of the film had a title.
No.
Each chapter of the film had a title.
No, unfortunately I don't remember. I'm sure we can find it on the internet for our long review, but
yeah, I'm sure it's out there.
Paradise Lost. I'm kidding. That was definitely not it, but it's fitting. And I've got a migraine, and I don't know where I'm going with this, which is much like the plot of this film. Eventually, I knew where it was going, but it just took a while to get there.
Yeah, like I thought, like initial thoughts on the plot. Like I liked it. I thought it struck the right balance between like some, not exposition, but just storytelling moments and action. Like I feel like it had a pretty good balance between those two elements. I need to revisit Fury Road. I plan to do that between now and when we do our deep dive on this film, but I don't remember if it had quite the same like balance between character moments and story moments and action scenes. I'll have to go back and revisit it, but I liked that. I thought it was appropriate balance between the two.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to explain my comment earlier, it's just that a large part of the beginning of the film is like the Adventures of Dementus.
Yeah, Dementus and Fury. Well, and then young Furiosa.
Right, but I've created a new word.
Crimsworth.
Crimsworth is definitely enjoyable to watch, but I thought I came into a movie named Furiosa, and her character just takes a little back seat until finally, this is why we had all this build up. Okay, and then it really gets into her just building her character up after that point.
Yeah, I was surprised. I didn't expect this coming into the film, that basically the first half of the movie, we just have young Furiosa. She's looks to be about 11, 12 years old, thereabouts. And, and that actress, I cannot recall her name right now. It was a very unique name. I saw it in the credits, but she did an excellent job.
You read the credits?
Well, I mean, I was paying attention, like, when they were showing. I'm always interested on who the actors are, like, that always intrigues me. It's like, who's in what part, and I'd never seen her in anything else. And some of the actors that, I'd seen in other things, but many of them I didn't recognize, and obviously some of the characters have a tremendous amount of makeup, so you can't tell what they look like.
I was busy having a migraine, being like, there are words on the screen, close your eyes.
Yeah, it's very, this one, I think, it was a little less frenetic than Fury Road. I mean, Fury Road definitely earns its name, but it still had some hardcore action scenes. I don't know, did those give you the migraine?
No, I always get a migraine when I see a movie in a theater for some reason.
Oh. Do you take Tylenol beforehand? Does it ever help?
No, that's a good idea. I should try that.
Yeah, I should try that. Maybe that'll help. Hopefully. Yeah. Well, Will's definitely being a trooper. He's doing this quick review, even though he feels like crap. So thank you, Will.
I felt worse.
I've seen worse. No.
I've seen shit that'll turn you white. There's my Ghostbusters quote for today.
Oh, there you go. There you go. So yeah, like, let me think. Think of some other elements of the film. Like, so, I mean, obviously we talked about Chris Hemsworth performance, and then the actress who plays young Furiosa. And then we get to older Furiosa, and oh darn, brain fart. Darn it, I cannot think of the actress's name right now. Can you think of her name?
Whose name?
The actress who plays Furiosa, like older Furiosa.
Oh no, I don't remember.
Darn it. I feel terrible. I've seen her in quite a few things.
What is she playing?
Oh man. Well, she was in, the first thing I ever saw her in was Split. Like, she plays in Split, and she's been in like the Queen's Gambit series, and she was in Northman, and yeah, she's become quite popular in the last few years as an actress.
Does she appear in any films that I actually watch?
Oh, I'm trying to think if she might have been in something you've seen.
Oh, you missed the perfect jab. You
What's
should have
that?
been like, Will, I don't watch cartoons like you do. I'm picking.
Yeah, I do watch cartoons sometimes, although these days The Simpsons probably gets the most attention from me, unless it's something I'm watching with my kids.
I'm just picking. So I actually don't have time to watch anything these days. I just go to work, sleep, and eat. That's
adulthood.
That's been my last couple of months.
Darn adulthood.
Yeah,
I'm actually looking it up right now because no, I don't want to mess up the. Darn it! I cannot think of it.
Okay, I'll look it up on my phone.
Yeah, there you go. Look it up. IMDb that shit. I cannot think of her name. But all I can think of, and this is terrible. Like, there's another podcast I listen to, called the Film Flamers, and I think they lovingly refer to her as Cow Eyes.
Cow eyes? I can see that.
She has very distinctive eyes.
I noticed that.
Yeah, they're just like very striking eyes, and I can't think of it. I feel terrible.
No, I did not say replay for Yosa.
Yeah, if you go to IMDb, or actually if you just do Furiosa Mad Max Saga, it should show it on Google. He's gonna look that up before we finish our instant review here. I feel bad. Yeah, like. Oh,
Taylor-Joy.
Yes, it just came to my brain.
Anya
Taylor-Joy. Darn it! Why couldn't I think of that? Anyway, Anya Taylor-Joy. So.
Cow
Eyes. Yeah.
I'm gonna remember that one.
Thanks, Film Flamers. But yeah, I really enjoyed her performance. She doesn't say a whole lot. It's a very physical performance, but I thought she nailed it. I thought it was great. Like, you feel the fury. The fury.
I thought that was a little on the nose.
Yeah, Furiosa. Yeah. But then a lot of the names are kind of like, what's it? Rectus and Scrotus. The two sons of Immortal Joe.
Immortal Joe. What kind of names are these anyway? Who wrote this script? No, I know it's. They have to put it in the universe of Mad Max. And what I'm saying is, who wrote the original Mad Max? Was it? I know Mel Gibson played in it. Did he actually?
I think George Miller.
Miller?
Well, I'm sure he was involved definitely in the story. I don't know if he
really the original.
Oh yeah, well, George Miller's been the director of all of them.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think unless he didn't do the third one, but he was involved from the very beginning.
But think of this. What are these? These are like elementary school names. Like, I shall call him Scrotus and Rectus.
Well, I think the idea is like in after the apocalypse, like there's not as much literacy because so much has been lost. You know, they try to hold on to some knowledge. Like, you have the guy that's literally inscribing history and information on his skin with tattoos, and then on his clothes as well. And he's like the story keeper or whatever. And so yeah, you get the idea that society has degraded a bit, and now it's just legitimately a fight for survival, you know, and they're out in the desert, so they're fighting for food, obviously, for food, water, and fuel for their vehicles.
Cabbage, lots of cabbage.
Lots
My
of
cabbages.
Lots of cabbage. Yeah, lots of cabbage.
This is your avatar quote for today.
All right, we got 10 seconds. So we both enjoyed it. Both give it a solid rating. I think that averages out to what, 3.85 or something like that. So yeah, 3.85 nerd hats.
Nerds.
Nerds.
Nerd persons.
The adventure begins.
Tell that guy to behave.
That's too far. I only went a little bit. You went all the way.
New Girl reference for those of you who are not in the know. One of the funniest TV series I've ever watched, I have to say. Laura and I are in the process of rewatching it.
A third time.
Well, you've seen it 3 or 4 times.
Oh
right?
my, haven't I?
This is my second time. Yeah, we tried Modern Family for a while, which was all right. It just wasn't as funny, and we're like, let's just rewatch New Girl.
And that's the end of the podcast. Goodbye.
Yep. Thus ends our review of New Girl.
I give it 2 nerd hats. This was great.
So guys, it's late. Sometimes our schedules come out this way. So if we all sound a little tired, that's why.
I don't know why you guys sound tired. I sound great.
I was very tired like 3 or 4 hours ago. And then strangely, I have like my second wind. I feel like I get a podcast wind sometimes.
I have a cold.
Not that kind of wind.
I have a cold.
I'm sorry.
It's called sadness.
Well, how you doing, man? It's been a few days since we watched this movie in the theater.
I drank a Monster Energy drink.
Oh, why would you do that? Oh my goodness.
Because I'm tired. I'm being tired.
Wow.
I hear that.
You're so brave.
Every day.
Wow.
For so many days now.
Dang, man.
I'm learning more about why that is, like for neurodivergent gentlemen such as ourselves, because our brains process differently, and perhaps are processing more or faster, potentially, but just that there's like a processing disorder of different types.
Yeah,
it uses more energy, so it's part of the reason we get tired more than those darn neurotypical people.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, I'm learning thing from, and most of this I'm learning from people that are posting like on Instagram and places like that, people that are also ADHD. Caught up with a comedian who has both autism and ADHD and an anxiety disorder. He has all 3.
He's
sounds like me.
Super blessed.
Super blessed. I mean, I can't say I'm autistic, but I can say I took a test that makes it highly likely that I'm on the spectrum somewhere.
I think we're all a little on the spectrum.
Yeah. I wonder.
And that's great. Look at us. Look at us.
Look at us. Anyway.
Look at us now.
We have a 2-year-old with us. For those of you who can't see.
Oh, yes. You might hear.
You will.
Noise.
You not might. You will.
Normally she's asleep at this time.
Well, I try, Laura. You don't have to call me 2.
Ha ha ha. Well, ha ha. Got me good, man. But yeah, she's curious about the microphone, so she might chime in a little bit and tell us how she feels about this movie.
Do you want to say something, Alma?
Do I say hi?
Hi.
Oh my goodness, you are so damn cute. You're so great, little buddy. Yeah.
All right. Well, now that we have a 2-year-old present, let's talk about this gory rated R action film, Furiosa, Mad Max Saga.
I can tell you right now how I felt about the second movie they made about the one that came out.
Fury Road was technically the 4th total in the
one before this one, the one before the most recent one,
Fury Road.
And I will tell you right off that I was not thrilled. watching it because it was like it's I don't know. I'm a jungle queen. And let me tell you what that is. I just need if I'm gonna watch a movie, I need there to be trees and greenery. If it's in that might be why I wasn't super keen on Dune.
Ah,
Because it's all in the desert. Where are the fucking trees, man? I need them.
lots of sand.
I just need them. The worms were great, but where I just need a tree. Just need a tree to nest my thoughts in, you know what I mean? And yeah, Mad Max just didn't have that. There was not a tree inside. Also, the tribishness of it wasn't. I'm gonna give you a review before we get to the
Hey,
review.
that's all right. It's connected. So.
The cultish sandish people with the silver paint spray on their faces.
The War Boys.
The war was that what they're called?
Yeah, they call them the War Boys.
Yeah. So it's just they look a little it's not the manic. What's it called? It's a little
Yeah,
like
manic's a good description.
a little I don't know. It didn't feel believable. Like it didn't it overdone. Over the top. I'm just like, I really want if it was more that's what it is. If it was more subtle, like if they weren't so crazed, if they only got crazed like again 3 times in the movie, that would be more interesting, more believable. Alma, let's not put a pencil sharpener in our mouths. Let's not do that.
Oh, we can do subtle. We can have characters named Scrotus.
Ew.
Oh yeah, Scrotus and Rectus are two. Of the
Ew.
characters, which they were in Fury Road.
I
That
didn't
was
catch that.
sarcasm, by the way.
Rectus,
I didn't.
Rectus was in Fury Road, I think.
I didn't catch that at first. But no, I
Well, they came out of their dad's Scrotus. I'm not sure about the Rectus. I don't know what he was thinking about that, but
Actually, the credit said Erectus.
Erectus. Erectus. Oh my goodness.
so back to
So
me.
that was sarcasm.
Wait,
Laura?
no, Will, shush.
So now keep in
No,
mind-
Richard, I am spending valuable
Sorry,
energy saying words.
ahead,
Give me
go
a
ahead.
minute, man. Alma, this life is not about you, okay? Can you just give me a second, okay? I really want to enjoy one of a character from a movie. And I don't remember enjoying anyone in the Mad Max Fury Road. I don't remember a single character I liked. It's just no. Same with Dune. I'm still a little bitter about Dune. I'm really angry, Timothy. I am. Do better, make better choices, have better communication skills. If you can like speak to people's brains and minds in Dune, you can communicate to your lady friend. You can, and you didn't. You didn't.
I think she'd have to drink the worm piss before she could see the nature of the universe and the future.
If he's so intellectual, he could have said a few things like, "Hey, I love you, babe," and I think that this is the best route to take. But I'd rather not because you're the best. You know, something reassuring.
You could have been like, "You want to be my concubine, baby?"
Ew, that is not at all what I was thinking.
No.
So anyway, Mad Max Fury Road, not I it's not believable. It's like it's giving which one came out first? Book of Eli or Mad Max?
Book of Eli.
Book of Eli.
Book of Eli came out before Fury Road.
It's giving
Although Mad
Max.
Max.
Wait. It's giving Book of Eli parody and being bad at it. Like it's because there were some weirdos in. Sorry if that was offensive, but like there's some eccentric.
Sorry, Book of Eli, like probably borrowed from the original Mad Max trilogy.
And that movie was good. I enjoyed that one. That one was done. It was subtle and interesting, and the music was fantastic. But yeah, no. Anyway, that is my review on the movie before this one. And those are all the words I have tonight. I have spent all of them. Good night. Continue, everyone else.
So we're here to talk about Furiosa, the prequel of the one you saw and didn't like.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one
Sorry.
greatly expands on the on her backstory. It's yeah, it focuses a lot on her backstory. Starts with her as I think she's about 11 or 12 when the movie starts, and that I think she about the first roughly would you say Will roughly the first hour of the movie she's that age.
The first hour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is it played
And then
by
we
the
have this
lady?
big jump.
Not by Anya Taylor-Joy, no, by a different
How
actress who did a really good
interesting.
job, I thought.
I read that they actually CGI'd the little girl's face to make her look more like Anna Taylor-Joy
They
or
did.
whatever her name is.
What's her name?
So
No. The main lady. What's
Oh,
her name?
Anya Taylor-Joy is
It's a fun name.
the name of the actress who plays older Furiosa, and Elila Brown plays young Furiosa. And yeah, they both did an excellent job, I thought. Will, shall we tell her some of the plot?
Can I guess the plot?
Sure.
This is about revenge. So she got slammed by the Thor character. I have no idea what this movie is about. I'm just guessing. She got slammed somehow. Her parents, her tribe, her people got hurt and killed by the redheaded guy. So this whole movie is trying to redeem and her past and avenge her family who was murdered. And there's going to be an interesting side character, and then that's it, the end. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right?
Very good.
Yep.
Oh, this is why I don't go to the theater. This is why I don't go to the theater. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Well, certain story points will get recycled over time. This is true, but I thought they executed it very well.
Oh.
But yeah, it starts with young Furiosa and her friend are
I knew it.
in the woods, so there are actually
there are
More
trees.
trees.
I changed my mind. I will see it.
So it's in this it's in this special place. They just call it the green place,
Special place.
and it's
The only place not hit by nuclear war.
Yeah, it's one of the few. It's like an oasis in the wasteland, and it seems to be populated primarily by women. Obviously, they're able to have babies, so there's some men in there somewhere, but it seems to be mostly women that are running it, and they're trying their best to keep it secret. So these two guys from a biker gang stumble upon the place, and they're there in the woods. So young Furiosa sneaks up and is trying to cut the fuel line of their motorcycles, and one of them catches her. And then they abduct her and run off. And Furiosa's mother and I think the leader of the clan give chase. And eventually Furiosa's mother is the only one that goes on. And she's like this badass warrior who's able to kill a bunch of Dementuses, which is Chris Hemsworth's character. Dementuses.
She has seen some shit.
Yeah.
Will, you said a bad word. Hold on, everyone. This
I
moment
say it
is brought to you
this
by
podcast.
Will's profanity. Wow, Will, I'm so proud of you, buddy.
He says bad things
Oh,
sometimes.
he says bad things
Only on
sometimes.
this podcast. God forbid
Wow,
someone else listen to this.
Well, you said it with confidence. Maybe the last time I heard you say it, we are like, oh shit. Something like that.
This is his naughty time.
Let's continue.
I'm just saying this woman fights like she has seen some real crap, okay? Some real shit. And she is You don't get that way by just living in an oasis. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
That's a fair point. So they must have stumbled upon it at some point, and were probably fighting for survival prior to that, perhaps.
Yeah, this is like first generation or something.
Either that, or they've had to kill a lot of people to protect it. Maybe both.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dementis. Eventually, like she is able to rescue her daughter from Dementis, and they're trying to escape. And eventually, Dementis. It's obvious that his forces are going to catch up with them. So her mother says, "Hey, I'm going to stop as many as I can. You run ahead." Which Furiosa is does not want to leave her mother, but she starts to, and then when she hears the fighting begin, she runs back, and then gets recaptured and has to watch her mother die. So it's pretty rough. And so yes, that is where the revenge part of the plot begins.
Who called it? This girl.
So yeah, so that is definitely a big driver and motivator for her, as her anchor for Dementis and what he did. But there are some other characters who come into play, many of whom we were prominently featured in Fury Road.
Some interesting side characters.
Yeah. Will, do you wanna talk about Immortan Joe and his what do they call the Citadel, right?
Right. Well, I wanted to talk about History Man. He seems really interesting,
Oh
but
yeah, History Man. Yeah.
we can just skip to the Citadel.
Well, I think we got introduced to History Man first before the Citadel in this film, because he's he's sort of a right. He's like an advisor to Dementis slash also a slave of Dementis, kind of. But but yeah, you want to tell her about him?
Was
Tell me,
he in
Will.
Fury Road?
No.
Okay.
Have I what?
So
He wasn't in Fury Road.
Oh,
he's basically tattooed an encyclopedia on his body.
I don't understand the words that you just said. Say it again. What do you mean?
He's tattooed an encyclopedia to his body and his clothing to make himself valuable. He's one
Oh
of the
my
last educated.
gosh.
He's
That
one of the
is
last educated men in the universe, basically.
that's so petty.
Yeah,
This way, Dementis won't kill him.
Wow.
yeah. He tries to talk Furiosa into becoming a history person, and she's like, "Nah, I'm good." But he gives her the advice. He's like, "If you make yourself valuable to Dementis, he will take care of you. If you make yourself, what do you say, indispensable, invaluable,
Yeah,
like he will take
something like
care
that.
Sounds like a bad work environment.
of
That's
you."
that's how I feel about this.
Yeah, Dementis is
Yeah.
hardcore, and we do find out as time goes on more of his backstory. We find out that his own family, his wife and his children, were killed in front of him, and he went hard in a dark direction, afterwards. And now he just doesn't give a crap about anybody but himself. And it's arguable he may not even care much about himself either, but he definitely cares more about himself than other people. And he uses some of his own men as as fodder and as a human shield at different points. And yeah, he's despicable. Like,
Yes.
very interesting seeing Chris Hemsworth play a villain.
He did a good job because, for the most part, he didn't act like Thor and he didn't act like the secretary from Ghostbusters. So that was good.
Oh yeah.
Kevin.
You still haven't seen that, Laura. You'll have to see that at some point.
Maybe I should if I can't guess the plot. Dum dum.
Let me guess. 4 characters fight ghosts.
Yay.
Well, Chris
Take the
Hemsworth,
word out of your mouth.
he kind of plays against gender stereotype and plays a ditzy blonde secretary in that Ghostbusters film.
I think I know because I saw like preview.
Did you? Did you? Oh,
I saw
okay.
the preview.
Okay. Yeah.
Here, can you hold her?
But no, he's both disturbing as a villain in this, and but he also manages to bring some comedic elements to the film as well. Just to his energy is just really fits the film well. I thought, kind of just a very chaotic energy.
It's like a Cruella Deville. It's like you kind of enjoy hating her.
Yeah.
That's the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah, no, he's one of. I think that is a fair point. I don't know how you felt, Will, but I think he was one of the most enjoyable villains to watch that I've seen.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, and he's intelligent, like he's cunning. He's not. He doesn't treat people well, which ends up being his undoing to a certain extent. He's not good at managing people, but he is very cunning and he's good at warfare, like road warfare and such, and battle tactics. So he's a pretty. It's like he comes off a little bit like an idiot sometimes, but then you realize that he's actually very cunning and he's a pretty formidable foe for Furiosa. Yeah. But she gets the better of him in the end.
Oh no, I didn't see that coming. Damn it.
Plants a tree in his crotch.
Spoilers.
But in between, do you want to talk some about the Citadel and Immortan Joe and like Furiosa's time there?
Well, there are 3 fortresses in the wasteland apparently, which apparently may or may not have been destroyed before the Mad Max Saga. I don't know, but we have the Bullet Farm, the Citadel, and Gastown. And then I had a cough. So the Citadel, which is the only one that doesn't have an obvious name, is where they grow the food. I won't tell you what happens to the other places because it should be obvious. Okay, so they grow the food at the Citadel, and apparently they have a harem. It's actually harem's not even the right word for it.
No,
but yeah, they grow food there, huh?
I mean, Immortan Joe does have a harem, and we find that out in Fury Road first. And this doesn't really deal with it that much. This is more about like you see that a little bit where she gets Immortan Joe selects Furiosa to be a future part of his harem.
Right. I just mean that harem suggests pleasure, but they're basically farming babies.
That's
True.
right, Will.
True.
Trafficking.
Oh yeah. They're and then Fury Road, which I just rewatched. Furiosa is trying to liberate those women, but they're equally are fighting for their own liberation as well, which is cool. Like they have no qualms about fighting for it as well.
But Immortus has 2 sons, Sprotus and Erectus.
Those are not well chosen names, or maybe they are.
They dress like He-Man or like they're in Dominatrix.
Oh yeah, like BDSM.
Yeah, your typical Mad Max costumes, basically.
It's just not very practical. You know what I mean?
No,
not really what you want to be wearing in the desert. Like
it makes everyone more sense to
wear like loose
sunburns,
loose clothing,
like loose, like Lawrence of Arabia deal and stuff. Lawrence of Arabia, where they're all wearing sheets, of some kind.
So I have lost where we're going with this, and my energy is starting to bottom out. So we need to hype it up. Hype it up.
All right. Dun, 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 dun. We need a guitar player in here.
Buttholes.
Which is one thing we don't get much of in Furiosa, but that's definitely in Fury.
Oh, and the music playing, did that happen at all in this movie?
There was no well, there might have been like a really brief reference to him, but there's not a guitar playing.
That
Like,
was weird.
I guess he's like the equivalent of their drummer boy. You know, like you have a drummer boy in a army, like back during the Civil War. You'd have somebody who like beats like the electric guitar player is that for the Fury Road movie. But yeah, he doesn't really make an appearance in Furiosa.
How much time do we have left? Do you know?
A little bit over 10 minutes.
Questions. Question time.
Yeah.
Question time. Question time. Are there any characters other than the villain that you liked that also
Well,
have shit? The time is running out.
10 minutes.
Got
So
10-minute
we're at the
warning.
10-minute mark.
No, like, were there any characters that went through development? Was there anything revealed at the beginning that was resolved at the end for any particular character? I want to know.
well, I really like Fiosa's boyfriend.
She has a boyfriend?
I mean, that's a really vague way to describe him, but yes. Anyway,
Yeah, Praetorian
so
Jack is his name.
yeah,
That's a name and a half. What the heck?
Well, Praetorian is not part of his name,
Oh.
but that's his position, I guess. But
Okay.
yes. You were saying, Will?
Furiosa herself goes through character development in that initially what drives her is her desire to get home to fulfill her mother's dying wish for her to return home. But eventually, as is revealed when she loses her arm, because she has the map tattooed on her arm of how to get home, she
Oh.
chooses hatred and revenge over finding her way home. Um, that's the character development for her.
Mm.
And when I say she loses her arm, I'm saying she like rips it off.
That she rips
kind
off
of
her own arm.
Why does she do that?
Well, to escape death
escape.
in the immediate sense. Like she was strung up, like, by her arm.
Oh
no! And they were in the
no.
process of killing her partner, slash, basically it was becoming her boyfriend, Jack. They're like dragging him around behind a
No.
motorcycle,
Oh, this is sad.
torturing him to death, basically.
Oh
Kills-
no.
So she knows she's next, so she finds a way to somehow, like, either she literally pulled her own arm off or cut it off somehow.
Ew.
You see it hanging there.
No.
So that's how she amputated herself.
I would not. We should have a portion of this. Like, would any of us survive in the scenario of, of a certain movie? I would be dead for 5 minutes. Gone. I'm sorry. Nope.
I think that she should have gotten like some sort of really bad infection.
Well, she does somewhat. They don't really show like how she healed from that. I guess they do have the one doctor there back at the Citadel. Like when she manages to find her way back to the Citadel, they do have a doctor there, so maybe he was able to help her, or at least their equivalent of a doctor.
Right.
Yeah, they don't
now
address that too much.
And she built herself this robotic arm, and I have questions. How was she able to connect it to her real stump arm?
Magic.
In a way that she could control the fingers on the fake arm.
Magic will.
Yeah, that's a good question. Like how did she go to connect it to her? Because it doesn't look like it's connected to her brain. So maybe it's like pulleys and like hydraulics somehow. I don't know. They don't explain that. It looks cool.
Yeah, it looks cool.
It does have like a lawnmower motor in it, because at one point she revs it up and she's getting ready to kill Dementus, and she revs it up and is about to use it.
Yeah.
I think it's when she was getting ready to kill Dementus. But...
Okay, I have a question though. Who gives them tattoos?
The history man.
Where's the what?
The history man. Well, she borrowed his tattoo maker. Tattooed herself.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and I know in Fury Road we see them tattooing Mad Max's back. which a history man was not involved in that particular scene, but they were tattooing on him that he was a universal donor, and they basically use him as they call him a blood bag, and then in
Ugh.
Fury Road.
See, there's a lot of not I just guess cringe worthiness. I'm just like, I
It's very
don't
violent.
know.
It's very
I
violent.
don't know anymore. I don't know. I don't know if I would enjoy such things as I used to. I don't know.
Yeah, I will say it's definitely ramps up the like Fury Road ramps up the violence to a whole nother level compared to at least the first two films of the original trilogy. Like in preparation for this week, I found time to watch the original Mad Max from 1979, and then the sequel Mad Max Road Warrior from 81, I believe, and both are rated R, and both do definitely have some violence and some disturbing scenes, but part of it just they didn't have the same anywhere near the same budget, so that's part of it. Like they couldn't do too much with the special effects, but Road Warrior
Right.
definitely is more violent than the original Mad Max. Um, but yeah, there's still disturbing violence in both. But yeah, Fury Road is like a whole another level in terms of the effects and the visual effects. And then Furiosa continues that tradition, I guess, for lack of a better term. So yeah, like Furiosa is definitely not an exception. It's violent.
All right, guys. We have a little bit of time left.
Yeah, we got
Should
about
go
4 minutes.
do we go to nerd hats or do we go to what do we go to?
So we can revisit. So Will and I in our instant review gave our initial nerd hat rating. Will, has yours changed at all since that
Yeah,
day?
I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 nerd hats.
Nice. And I think my initial rating was 4, and I think I'm going to keep it right at that. It was just a solid 4. It's a good film,
Yeah,
very very well done. The acting is excellent. I thought the directing was good, and it had a good balance in terms of pacing. Like it wasn't too slow, it wasn't too fast. Like there's a little bit less action in Furiosa compared to Fury Road. Like there's not quite as much on the road fighting, but yeah, I thought it had a good balance overall with that, and it deepens the lore, and the backstories, of the world, as well as the characters, the character of Furiosa, obviously in particular, and yeah, so yeah, but yeah, I don't. In reflecting on it, my rating hasn't neither gone down nor up. I think 4 is a good solid. So
hmm
yeah, four out of 5 for me.
for me, it was better than certain other movies we've reviewed recently. It was better than um. Oh my gosh,
Aquaman.
I almost said Thor: The Dark World. That's probably true too. I know I'm talking about Aquaman 2. Aquaman, Let's Eat Cockroaches, whatever it was called. I can't remember. But yes, I just confused Aquaman 2 with Thor: The Dark World. Anyway,
Basically the same movie. Don't worry about it.
but yeah, it was really enjoyable. It was well written. That's all I have to say in this short amount of time.
I was also gonna say four hats, except I was thinking I haven't seen it yet and I don't intend to. So probably 3.5.
It's based on what
So
we
we
told you,
Just based on what you told me.
and
Like
based
it
on
seems good, but like I think gore can be like if it's subtle gore, that's
not that
good.
bad.
But if it's not
yeah,
subtle, it's like
it's not.
please, like it's like Sweeney Todd, and we don't need Sweeney Todd right now. No. So 3.5. I would absolutely not see this because I don't know. Since I have children, I don't like seeing people suffer. It makes me sad.
Mm,
Okay.
The end.
yeah, there is some torture in it, so yeah, it's not fun. But no, I thought it was good, and I thought towards the end they actually made some pretty interesting philosophical points. Like as Furiosa has a discussion with Dementus there before deciding his fate. But yeah, so Will and I, we both liked it. We recommend it. I think that's fair to say, right? Do you recommend it too?
Yeah, I recommend it. The gore, let's not exaggerate the gore. There's not really a lot of gore of any kind in the film, but there is violence. Um, I want to talk about something if we have time.
We
At the
don't.
end of the
We don't.
We got 30 seconds or 20 seconds.
Can you imagine how many years she waited for that tree to grow out of Dementus's crotch before she rescued those boys?
Oh my goodness. Yes, that would have taken a long time.
All right,
Yeah.
let's go ahead and
All right,
close out.
nerds. Until next time.
Sayonara.
Live long and prosper.
Hasta la vista.